Well, good morning, everyone. It looks like a few people are just jumping on right now, so I'm just going to give everyone a few minutes to make sure that anyone that wants to join can join us today, and then we'll get started. Hoping you guys can hear me okay. So we had quite a list of people that registered for the webinar today, so you guys, I am going to wait just a few minutes to make sure that anyone that wants to join us can join. So just a couple minutes. All right, well, we're going to go ahead and get started this morning. So welcome to this morning's educational webinar. As you can see, today we're going to be covering some time-saving tips for the front desk. And when we say front desk, we know and realize that not everybody has a receptionist. So this is for the salons that have receptionists as well as for you that have staff working at your front desk as well. All right, so I'm your presenter, Angel Gonzalez, and hopefully you've been on some webinars with me before, and I'm going to walk you through these time-saving tips today. Okay, just a little housekeeping to start with. Your speakers must be turned on to hear this webinar. So hopefully you've realized that the webinar has started at this point and that if you cannot hear me, that you go ahead and turn on your speakers now. My microphone is on. Hopefully everybody can hear me. Everybody else, as you join, you get automatically muted. So you won't be able to talk to me during the webinar, but please feel free to use the chat box to ask me questions. Also, if you're having difficulties with sound or anything like that, please, again, feel free to use the chat box so we can address any of those issues. Also, you guys, like I said, I'm happy to answer questions during the webinar as long as it's relevant to what we're talking about during the time. If it's something that I feel like we can table and talk about after, we'll do that. Or alternatively, you guys, you can also email me directly if you have a subject that you'd like to chat about. If you have questions, you can also post them to our Facebook fan page, and I've listed that address here. So it's just facebook.com/shortcutsusa. All right, so today's learning outcomes. So basically today, like I said, I'm going to walk you through some a couple of different tips that would be time saving for the front desk. So these tips are going to include SMS confirmations and also now how you can automate those confirmations. The online CIC, or that client information card that your clients can now fill out on a tablet. We'll talk a little bit about the appointment book and efficiency there, collecting client data. We'll talk about capabilities, and we'll talk about backing up your system. All right, so the very first thing we're going to talk about is the SMS confirmations. And you guys, the reason why it's my first option here is because it is one of those things that can literally save you so much time in the day. And I'll talk a little bit about my experience at the front desk and what, confirmations was like for me. So I'm just going to go ahead and take you into shortcuts now. All right, so the first thing I want to take a look at with you is just the configuration and the setup of the confirmations. Okay, so I'm going to go into setup down here, and I'm going to go into the configuration. Okay, and then over on the left-hand side in that new navigation bar, I'm going to go ahead and click on that general, and I'm going to go into the confirmation section here. Okay. So you can see that I have text message supported in my system here. In the event that you don't have a text messaging account set up, as soon as you check this box, it's going to walk you through the steps on setting that up, or that's also something that we can definitely help you here in education or in the help desk. Once you've configured your account, I can go ahead and click on the little account button here, and it'll allow me to put in the username and password that has been created once you sign up. You guys, once you configure the username and password and you're all set up to send text messages, of course we would want to take a look at the message that's actually going out to our clients as well. Okay, so if I take a look right here, when I click on message, this is actually the information that goes out to the client when those confirmation messages go out. Now this is not the default message. You'll notice it says, "Hi, Angel. Angel's Test Salon confirming your appointment on this day at this time," and it tells them to confirm yes, or to reply yes to confirm, or to call the phone number of the store to reschedule the appointment. You guys, this is not the default. I'm going to show you what the default is. The default option actually gives them the opportunity to cancel through text message. I like them to have to call to cancel so that we get the opportunity to reschedule them, but you can give them the option to cancel through text message as well. I like to keep mine as I have it, giving them the option to reply yes to confirm, or they can call the salon to reschedule. Okay, so that's that message. Okay, and then right here we have this configure section, and you guys, this is really important. This is a new amazing tool that we have in our Shortcuts Blackline, and you can see here, right now my database is set. It says prompt to send confirmation requests. So basically what that means is it's going to prompt me on a daily basis to send these requests to my clients. However, I still need to go in and send those out. The other option is that I can have them actually send automatically now. So I'm going to choose that option. So automatically send confirmation requests at 10 a.m. Okay, business days in advance, so 1 day ahead of time. Okay, I'm just going to pause really quickly, you guys, to make sure that nobody has any questions. Okay, remember, you guys, that you can use the questions or the chat box section if you have any questions about this section. All right, looks like everyone's okay. All right, so I'm going to set it to automatically send confirmations, and I'm going to set them to go out at 10 a.m. Of course, you guys can customize that, and it can be 9 a.m., it can be 11 a.m., depending on your business and how you feel your clients respond to that. Some people like to do 48 hours, so then you could make this 2 days in advance if you'd like to. Now, down here at the bottom where it says begin polling, right now it says let me manually poll only. Basically what that means is you need to go into the confirmation status screen and click the little button to check for replies. Now, I like it to check for me automatically, so I'm going to choose this center one, begin polling for replies on first contact. Okay, one moment. It just looks like I have a question here. Okay, I just got a message from Diana saying that she couldn't hear me anymore. So Diana, if you can just answer back and let me know that you can hear me. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. You guys, I'm just going to go back through that section that I just went through just to make sure that everyone catches that. So from the appointment book, I'm going to go ahead and click on Menu. And then from the menu, I'm going to go to that confirmation status screen. On the confirmation status screen, you guys, it always pulls up the current day you were viewing on the appointment book. So I was viewing today. Okay, so here now is Wednesday the 29th. So you can see that my confirmations were already sent out yesterday, and I did get some replies. I'm going to go ahead and go to tomorrow by just simply clicking the little arrow forward here. Okay, so you can see that I have some appointments set up for tomorrow that have not been confirmed yet. Now, I've just asked my database, I've configured my database for these to go out automatically now at 10 a.m. However, it's not 10 a.m. yet, and I'd like to show you guys how to send these manually if you need to. So right now, you can see that everybody in my list says TXT or text message. So if I want to send these out, all I have to do is go ahead and click this contact button. Okay, do you want to send confirmation requests? And I'm going to say yes. Again, you guys remember that if you set it to go automatically, that they will go out at whatever time you've asked it to. I went ahead and sent them out manually today. And notice that it does tell you that you can continue working while the confirmations are sent. Okay, so now we can see that a text message has been sent to everybody that was listed in my list, and it lets you know what time it went as well. Oh, and look, I received mine, so I'm just going to go ahead and reply back to this that I am coming to my appointment. Okay, so in just a moment, we should be able to check for replies as well. Okay, so you guys, right next to that contact button, I have the replies button. Okay, so I can manually check for replies, or I can simply wait for the database to check for them because it checks every few minutes. Okay, so are you sure you want to check for replies? Now, it does take a few moments for those replies to come back, so I'm going to check right now, but it's possible that they're not there yet. Oh, and look at that. We did get 2 replies. Okay, so myself and Giovanni have replied back, yes, that they will indeed come to their appointment tomorrow. So if I close out of the screen here, and then I go to tomorrow's books, you'll notice, you guys, that those 2 appointments have actually updated automatically on the appointment book to that teal color or that confirmed color in Shortcuts. Okay, so as the other people reply, the database is going to automatically check for those, and then it will update those as well. Okay, any questions about the SMS confirmations before we move on to another topic? So you guys, just to give you a little bit of an idea why I love the SMS confirmation so much is in the salon that I was in, it was about a 20-person salon, so we had that many chairs and that many stylists. And when I had to confirm appointments on a Friday morning for Saturdays, it literally would take me my entire morning shift. And it took me away from being able to really be able to give all the clients the customer service and attention that they deserve when they're in, you know, my reception area. So I couldn't give them all the attention that I needed about the products that they should be taking home for retail. I couldn't give them all the attention that they needed about, you know, rescheduling and doing those kinds of things because I was way too worried about just making sure that I could confirm appointments for the next day to know that those people were coming in. All right. Okay, you guys, so I'm going to go ahead and take us back to my PowerPoint here. Okay, and the next thing we're going to talk about is the online CIC, or that client information card. So you guys, this is a smart product. So if you have our smart package, this is definitely available to you. And if you don't have it, it's something that you can add on individually or you can add on through the smart package. So basically, the online CIC is only available during business hours because we would assume that the only time you would need to be updating client information would be when you're in the salon. So the online CIC is designed to be used on like an iPad or a tablet or something like that. And what you can do is you can launch our Shortcuts console from your iPad or from your tablet, and you can log into the online CIC here, and you'd be able to hand that tablet directly to the client, maybe while they're processing, or maybe they walk in and excuse me, you can just hand it right over to them because they're going to have to wait a few minutes for their stylist anyways. So you guys, you'll notice that there's two options. You have hand to client or edit client. The hand to client is going to be my preference because what you can do is, like I said, you just hand it over to the client and they type in all of their information for you. So you don't have that opportunity to make that mistake when you're typing the information for the client, or, you know, of course, the way that probably most of us are doing it now, having the client fill out a client card and then trying to decipher what they've said on that client card when you're entering it into your shortcut system. Okay, you guys, so the online CIC is a really great way not only to save time, because then, you know, the receptionist shouldn't have to enter this information, or your staff shouldn't have to enter this information at that point because the client has done it. It also should secure some more accurate data for us. Anybody have any questions about that? And remember, you guys, if you have a Smart but you're not using the online CIC, just let me know and I'll walk you through, you know, how to make sure that we can get that working for you. Okay, so this is what the client information card would look like once I clicked on the Edit Client Information Card. Okay, looks like we do have a question. The question is, and Sarah, it's a really awesome question, and the question is, if we need to update client info for an existing client, does the CIC create a new client? Sarah, the answer is no. What will happen is any client that is on the appointment book for that day will show up in that list. Okay, so you can see here I have this person test. However, anybody that's booked for that day will show up in that list, so you'd be able to update them. And also you can see that I have add a new client, so if it's somebody that isn't in your database, you'll be able to add somebody new, and that syncs up to your shortcut system. If it's somebody that doesn't have an appointment today, but you'd still like them to update their information through the online CIC, you can simply search for that client and pull up their details there. Hope that answers your question, Sarah. Perfect. All right, so let's take a look at that client information card again. So you can see here that it pulls up first name, last name, address, you know, state, stuff like that, information where I can go ahead and put all, you know, the client can add all those details. You guys, you can control what shows up on your client information card online. Okay, so how you do that is a simple configuration within Shortcuts. So you can see that this is just a screenshot here. I've gone into configuration, I've gone into general, and I'm in the client section. And I'm in that very last tab that says new client layout. You guys, that center column where it says detailed, that information there, anything that is checked there is what will show up on your client information card here. Okay, so if the first time you launch your client information card and you see that the birthday and the birth month and the birthday are not here for the client to enter, that is not a problem at all, because all that means is you just need to go into Shortcuts and enable those to show up on the card. Okay, so any questions about that client information card before we move on? Okay, looks like everyone's all right. Let's see here. I have a question from Diana. Diana, let's table this one until after. We will have a Q&A section, and maybe you'll be able to give me a little more detail about what you're thinking about asking there. Okay, so you guys, really the rest of our webinar is going to be a live demo within Shortcuts, and we're going to cover a number of things. So you can see booking and rescheduling appointments, the touch tip, the wait list, duplicate clients, and a couple of other things. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and take us back into Shortcuts. All right. So one of the great things that we introduced in Shortcuts Black is the week view. But I think sometimes people are so excited about the curved corners and the new black sexy look that we forget about some of the really awesome features that we've added. So you guys, I'm just going to go ahead and take us into the week view for today, or from the schedule here on today. I'm going to right click against Paul's schedule, and I'm going to go to View Week. And you'll notice that that takes me into the section here where I can simply see what he has for the entire week. I can see more than one individual in the week view as well. So you guys, if you're trying to book an appointment for somebody that needs to see two different individuals, so maybe you're departmentalized or you have nail technicians and hairstylists and they want to see two different people, I can make sure that that displays on my week view. So down here at the bottom, I'm going to go into Employee, and I'm going to choose Paul and Minnie side by side. And you can see now, so if I have a situation where I have a client that needs to see both of them, I'd be able to see very clearly where they both have availabilities. And then also on the days where, you know, they don't work, both of them don't work. So it looks like Wednesday and Thursday are the only days that they work together. Okay. You guys, I can also reschedule an appointment in week view. So this is really big because for most of us, the easiest way before to reschedule an appointment was simply to delete it and then rebook it. So now I can actually drag an appointment from one day to another. Okay, so maybe Joe calls and says he can't make it today, he needs to make it in tomorrow instead. Okay, Joe Blow has multiple appointments. Continuing will move and stack these appointments as unplaced. Well, I want to continue. What that means, you guys, is it's going to move the other appointment he had, and I'm just going to need to adjust it. Okay, so it takes me back to the regular view, and then I can just pop Joe's shave right underneath my barber cut. Okay, and then if I want to go back into the week view, I can simply right-click against Minnie and go into week view. And then remember, if I want to see Paul as well, I just go down to Employee and choose both of them. Okay, so some of you are probably using this already, but just keep in mind that this is a really great way to reschedule. Also, you guys, down here at the bottom, you'll see that it says weeks, and right now it says 1. I can actually expand that, and I can see 2 weeks. So if a client wants to move from 1 week to the next week, I can do that as well. Okay, so I can move Minnie's client from this week to next week, but apparently it looks like she's not scheduled on. Okay, so I moved Joe's appointment to tomorrow with Minnie, but you know what? He actually called back and said that he's going to be able to make it today. So we have another tool that will allow us to be able to reschedule pretty easily as well, and that's called the Select tool. So if I right-click against an appointment and I select that appointment, okay, so do you wish to move all appointments booked on this day? And I'm going to say yes. What it does is down here it lights up this little folder, and if I click on that folder, you'll see that both of the appointments, the barber cut and the shave that Joe was booked for, are now sitting in this little Select folder down here at the bottom. So all I need to do is navigate to the day that he'd like to reschedule for. So he wants to reschedule back for today, so I'm going to click on today's date. And then down here in this little folder in my select, I can just select both of the items that he had, and then I can drag them back over to Minnie's books. So 3 o'clock today. Okay, again, it does stack them up, and I can just drop his shave right underneath his barber cut. Okay, so some really awesome tools and time-saving and efficient tools for the appointment book are using the week view to book appointments and also to reschedule appointments, and also using that select tool. It looks like I have a question, so I'm just going to pause for a moment. The question from Vicki is, this is on shortcuts with white background as well. Vicki, as long as it's the 7-4 line, whether it's black or white, should not matter. Yes, you do have the option with the week view and the select tool in there. Okay. The next thing I'd like to show you guys is just the touch tip, because sometimes I feel like some of this information doesn't always seem like it's that readily available. However, if you have the touch tip enabled in your system, and I simply click on an appointment one time, it gives me so much detail about this client and about the appointment. So you'll notice that on the appointment I have that little alert message. So you guys now, instead of right-clicking and going into read the alert message here, okay, just by using the touch tip, I can see that client message, and I can see that he's allergic to tea tree. I can also see a bunch of other information about this as well. His contact details, so I can easily click on that and call him from here. His tag, the status of his appointment, that it has been confirmed, and all of the details of the appointments that he's booked for and who with, and the estimated cost, all right there in the touch tip. So you guys, again, having the touch tip on is one of those time-saving efficiency tools because there's so much information just in that one spot right there. So if you don't have the touch tip enabled, that's definitely something that you probably want to turn on. You also have something similar for the employees, and this is one I really like as well. So if I click on Debbie's name up here, we can see what their level is and also what capabilities they're able to do. Okay, I'm the only one that can do the microderm and the spray tans. Lucky me. Whoops. Looks like I have another question. Oh, nope, looks like everything's okay. Okay, perfect. So you guys, rescheduling with week view and using the select tool and the touch tip. And then I also would like to talk about the wait list, because I feel like the wait list is something that sometimes during training, it's not necessarily something that we always focus on, and sometimes it's not necessarily something that everybody's worried about at the moment when they're starting to use shortcuts. So the wait list can be really, really useful. Right, so if you have a client that calls up, that needs an appointment today or, sometime within the next few days, and we simply don't have an opening, let's put them on the wait list instead of having to use, like a little Post-it or something like that to write down a message and call them if we have a cancellation. All right, so I have a client that calls up and wants to see Paul today. They tell me that, unfortunately, their grandmother has passed away and they're going to have to leave town to go to the funeral, and they'd really like to get their hair cut before they do that. Okay, but as you can see, Paul is pretty booked up today, and this person wants in between the 1 to 4 o'clock hour, and you can see that he's going to be doing hair extensions during that time. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and add this client to the wait list. Okay, so how I'm going to do that is down here at the bottom, I'm just going to use this little green plus sign, so the appointment assistant, and I'm just going to go ahead and select the client here. All right, so let's say it's Aaron Carter that needs a haircut. Okay, and Aaron has supplied me with his email address, so I'm going to go ahead and add that in. Okay, and Aaron says he has to come in today. Okay, so it says from today, and the date is also to today. Okay, and he says it has to be between that 1 to 4 o'clock time. Okay, and he needs a haircut. And it has to be with Paul. And then I'm going to search, knowing, you guys, that there aren't any openings. Okay, so no available times could be found. Would you like to add this client to the wait list? And I'm going to say yes. Okay, it also gives you the opportunity to search for another availability for Aaron, but at this point, Aaron's leaving town, and so that's not necessary. Okay, so down here on the bottom on the left, you see the little hourglass, so this is my wait list symbol. So in there, I should see that Aaron is currently waiting for a barbering service. So maybe I let Paul know that he has a client on the wait list, and he tells me that, you know what, Fufa's hair extensions are only going to take me a couple of hours. So call him back and see if he wants to come at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock. So what happens is I can contact Aaron, and then once I shrink this appointment up here, it pops up this little icon right here that shows me that there is now a wait list available. Okay, so if I click on there and I go to all bookable requests, it actually shows me now that Aaron's appointment is bookable in that status. Okay, so I'm going to click on Aaron, and then down at the bottom I'm going to choose schedule. So you guys, based upon the time that I've freed up on Paul's schedule, it's giving me some different time blocks. Okay, so Aaron would like the 2:30. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and choose book. And it will ask me to tag that appointment because I do have the automatic appointment tag on. And then it's booked in my appointment. So you guys, the waitlist is a really awesome tool. And again, not only is it something that is, again, really efficient to use on your appointment book, it's also something that can stop some of that clutter and the little notes up at the front desk. So this person wants in here, you know, it's taped here and there and on my forehead and on the stylist's forehead, right? Okay, just kidding. We're not putting it on their foreheads. Hey, any questions about the wait list, you guys, before we move on to the next? Okay, so the next thing I just want to talk about, you guys, is duplicate clients. So making sure that you have the check for duplicate clients on in your database, because you guys, basically what it does is it really helps to save us from adding in those extra people. And then how this can be time saving is, well, if I have multiple files for the same person, it's really hard for me to be able to differentiate between which file I should use. And then, of course, that has, you know, me spend more time doing client merges and things like that at the end of the night. So I just want to show you here. I'm going to go try and book an appointment. Okay, and I've searched for my client, but for whatever reason I can't find them. Let's pretend that I didn't come up there. So I'm going to go ahead and add in a new client. Okay, so because I have check for duplicate clients on, you guys, it is seen that this is possibly a duplicate. So again, this is going to limit me from adding in, you know, multiple client files. Okay, so do I want to keep this client or do I want to merge it with someone that already exists? Looks like I need to perform a merge anyways, but I'm going to merge it with this person. Okay, so you always want to have that check for duplicate clients on. So again, it's going to just prompt you to merge them together. And then also you don't have to spend all that time sorting through, you know, whose file is this? Is this the same person? Which file should I use? And then going and doing the client merge. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the appointment book here. I'm just going to go ahead and choose cancel. And something else that can really help us is that appointment book filter down here at the bottom next to that wait list. So you guys, really, this can be so time efficient as well, because for the staff members, for the front desk, for the service providers, they might not necessarily know who does what at all times. Who does nails, who does massage, who does the spray tan. So instead of having to run around, figure that out, again, we have the option to make sure that we turn it on and see capabilities here. And then I have the option to use my appointment book filter for capabilities. Okay, so I could simply say for the appointment book to show me who does the spray tan. So if I'm booking a spray tan, I know that this is the only person that I can schedule that with. Okay, and then of course, you guys, the capabilities as well has a warning. So if I do try to still schedule that spray tan with Debbie, for instance, it's going to pop up the incapability warning for me to basically specify that Debbie is not capable of performing this service. Please choose another employee. So again, you guys, this can be time saving because at this point I can stop and say, oh, you know what? Debbie actually doesn't do the spray tan, but I have Angel available. Would you like to see her? Okay, and then it does indeed specify that I'm available at that time as well. Okay. Any questions, you guys? We're getting to the home stretch here. All right, looks like everyone's okay. You guys, the last thing that I want to address today is backing up your data. And backing up your data is something that you need to do on a daily basis. Okay, and why this can be time saving and why it's efficient for the front desk is because backing up your data literally takes less than a minute, and you can imagine all of the information you would lose if you lost your computer, if someone stole your computer, if there was a fire, if there was a flood, if something like that happened, all the information and time that you would lose by just not having your data, and you guys backing up takes less than a minute. Okay, so I back up by going to Tools, okay, and then by going to Backup here. Okay, so you can see that it automatically gives it a name. So it'll just say Shortcuts Backup and then the day that you backed up on at the time. Okay, it also tells you where the backup is being saved to. So you guys, you always want to back up to an exterior hard drive or to like a little memory stick. And I can change the location that I'm backing up to by choosing Advanced. Okay, by choosing Browse and selecting the location that I'd like to back up to from my list here. Okay. So when I click Backup Now, I've asked it to back up to the C drive, which is never what you guys would want to do. But I've asked it to back up to the C drive, so it's just warning me that that's not a good idea. And it's not a good idea, again, because if something does happen to your computer, you want to just be able to get a new one and restore your data and start with that new machine. Okay, so the backup process is starting, and it's going, and you'll notice that it's pretty quick, and like I said, less than a minute, and then that backup is complete. Okay, so you guys, like I said, backing up your data, it takes less than a minute. It's something that you should do on a daily basis. However, if it's something that you feel like you can't remember to do or you'd like some extra security, we do have a service called Back Me Up that we can definitely get you onto. And you can see here it says, never lose your data again or worry that you haven't completed a backup. So you went home at night, you forgot to do your backup. No worries, that backup is happening for you. Automatically backs up your shortcuts every 4 hours to the cloud. Okay, so you still want to do your backups, but you still have that security knowing that I didn't do one tonight, no worries, it's backing up for me. So you guys, just a summary of what you should know and some of the stuff that you should be able to implement at your front desk today, confirming appointments using SMS and automating that process, some efficiency on the appointment book, entering in client details using the CIC and also about duplicates and making sure that that option is turned on your system, and your different options for backing up your database, you guys. Looks like we have a question. It's asking if the text confirmation information is in the training manual. It is in the procedures guide as well as in your user guide. So the answer is yes, Lily. If you need help finding it, no worries. Just send me an email, which I'll show you the information shortly. Just send me an email and I can direct you to the right place. Okay, so you guys, this is our time for Q&A. So if you have any other questions for me or if you want to address anything, Diana, if you want to bring back up the question that you had. Sarah, how do you update your software if you don't have the newest edition of Shortcuts? All you need to do is give the office a call and speak to your account manager or your business development representative, and you'll be able to speak to them about getting an upgrade sent out to you guys. I have a question. Do you have email appointment confirmation not from online booking? So Dennis, I'm assuming that you mean, do you have email confirmation as well as text message confirmation? And the answer is yes, we do. I didn't have email configured on the system today, but once you sign up for your Message Media account to be able to do text message confirmations, you also have the ability to do email confirmations as well. Okay. Okay, so you guys, you can continue to shoot questions if you'd like. We still have a few more minutes. You guys, don't forget to register for more webinars. The next webinar, educational webinar that I'll be holding is called Maintaining Client Contact Automatically, and it's going to be on Tuesday, February 18th, because Monday the 17th is a holiday, and it again will be at 9 a.m. Pacific time. So for you East Coasts, it's going to be at noon for you, and for Central, again, 11 o'clock. Mountain Time, 10 a.m. You can always go and see what webinars we have available, so shortcuts.net/webinars, and that'll take you directly to the page where you can register and sign up and take a look at what we have. And then also, you guys, remember that the webinars are always available. The recorded webinar is always available on our YouTube channel. So it's just youtube.com/shortcutsusa. Okay, it looks like I have another question. I'm just going to take a look here. So, Diana, why don't you go ahead and email me the question about more detail about what information we can ask. And I'll show my email address in just a moment, but it's angel@shortcuts.net. Yeah, Diana, go ahead and email that over to me and we can discuss that. Okay, looks like we have a question from Vicki. I'm just going to take a look here. Okay, Vicki, it looks like a couple of the things that you're mentioning about replies and about sometimes when the cell number isn't right, and it shows that the text didn't go through. That's not necessarily something that I can address with you. That's something that you'll definitely want to take up with our technical support team. And then Diana, yes, this presentation will be on YouTube as soon as we can get it up. So generally what I do is right after the webinar is through, it takes a few minutes for it to complete and for the recording to archive to my machine. And then I get it right over to our marketing person and she gets it up on YouTube as soon as she can. And it will be right on, you can locate it here, so youtube.com/shortcutsusa. And then you guys, we have an awesome gift card promotion that's going on right now that I just want to mention to you guys because I know Valentine's Day is right around the corner and you guys, Mother's Day is coming as well. So right now we're working with a card vendor that does really, really cute like different shapes of gift cards. So you can see the little hair dryer that's on the heart there. That's actually the shape of the gift card that we had created as like a little sample. So it's that little hair dryer and then you turn it over and the barcode's on the back. So you can see it's 30% off the die cut card, so any of those like different custom shapes. And you guys, you can choose from over 100 different shapes and sizes. It's not limited to those shapes and sizes, so you can also, if you want something specific that they don't offer, they can customize that for you as well. And they're offering a $150 voucher towards that for you also if you want some custom work. And then you guys, you also get a free display stand for your front desk as well, along with the purchase of the cards. And you can see, you guys, the offer is valid through the end of February, but if you order them now, you could literally have them before Valentine's Day because I think the turnaround is like just a week. So you want to take advantage of this opportunity if you can. So if you're using GiftMe or if you're just using, you know, regular gift cards, this is a really great deal for you guys, and it's a really great time to capitalize on those gift card sales for Valentine's Day and for Mother's Day. Okay, so here's my contact information, you guys. So please send me emails if you have further questions. Diana, go ahead and send your information through to me, and we can discuss that offline. So angel@shortcuts.net. Again, you guys, we can always post questions to the Facebook fan page. So if it's just facebook.com/shortcutsusa. And then, you know, visit our website for more information, and don't forget to sign up for our next webinar. And you guys, about information about upgrading and everything, here are the phone numbers to our office. So if you need to contact your account manager, you can do that by calling either one of those numbers. All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time today. I think this is a really awesome webinar, and it has some really great tips for you guys to take back to your front desk reception teams or to your staff that can really help. Christina, when you say the latest update number, do you mean what is the latest version of Shortcuts that we're releasing right now? It is 7.4.12.18 is the current release. And you guys, if you want to find out what release is currently running on your Shortcuts system, while Shortcuts is open and you're logged in, hit the Shift and F1 keys on your keyboard together, and it will display to you what system. Yeah, Christina, 12.6 is a little bit of an older version. So if you contact the help desk or contact your business rep or your business account representative, they can get you out a new disk for that. Oh yeah, Christina, the 15 is not much different from the 18, so you'd be fine to go ahead and upgrade to the 15. That one would be good. And then you guys can hold tight for probably a few more weeks, and then we'll have a newer version coming out. But yeah, Christina, you can go ahead and update to that one. All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time today, and we will have this webinar up on YouTube as soon as we can.